What's up, everyone? Jay here with Tap and Turn Gaming, coming at you today with another EDH deck tech. Today's deck tech is for another viewer/subscriber requested build. Another suggestion from Mr. Rancid 1988. So, this is a deck that he suggested that we build because he was interested in seeing a deck built around this card, Triad of Fates. So, Mr. Rancid, this video is for you. I hope you enjoy it. And everybody else watching, I hope you enjoy it as well. So, let's get in onto the deck without further ado. Our general is Triad of Fates. It's a 4-cost 3/3 legendary human wizard with 3 pretty cool abilities. You can pay 1, tap it to put a fate counter on another target creature. Or you can pay a white and tap it to exile target creature that has a fate counter on it, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, so it basically flickers the creature out. And then you can pay a black and tap it to permanently exile a creature that has a fate counter on it, and its controller draws 2 cards. So 3 pretty cool abilities. The only real gripe that I have with this card is it's a little slow. You have to pay a mana and tap it to put a fate counter on something, and then you can start using the other 2 abilities. So, it does take a little bit of time to set up with this card, but we do have some cards in this deck that will help us out a little bit with that by speeding up the process by allowing us to untap this card. I did add in some cards, mostly artifacts, that will allow you to untap creatures. So that'll help us out a little bit with our general. But that is our general, Triad of Fates. First up, we'll take a look at our land base for this deck. Pretty basic. We run a Bajuka Bog, Cabal Coffers, Caves of Koilos, Emeria the Sky Ruin, Godless Shrine, Isolated Chapel, Orzhov Basilica, Orzhov Guildgate, 13 Plains, Rupture Spire, Scoured Barrens, 13 Swamps, Temple of Silence, and Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. So, nothing too crazy in the mana base. We've got the obvious includes like the shock lands, the pain lands, the check lands, stuff like that. Then we get some cool little utility stuff like Bajuka Bog, Cabal Coffers, Emeria, and Urborg. Pretty cool stuff. So that's our land base. Next up, we'll take a look at our sorceries. Basically just tutors and wraths here. We have Day of Judgment, Diabolic Tutor, In Garrick's Wake, and Increasing Ambition. So 2 tutors, 2 wraths. Next up, we'll take a look at our artifacts. We run Ashnod's Altar for the free sack outlet. Illusionist Bracers do copy activated abilities of the creature that this is equipped to automatically. Very good on our general, so that speeds up that process as well. Jandor's Saddlebags, one of the cards that I added into the deck to help us with our general by speeding it up a little bit by letting us untap it. Magerite Stone, kind of the same deal, lets us untap our general or any creature that has a tap symbol in its activated ability cost. Nim Deathmantle for some creature recursion. Oblivion Stone is really nice because it kind of works very well with our general, because this also puts fate counters on things. But then you can, obviously, everybody knows what this does. You pay 5, tap it, and sack it to destroy each non-land permanent without a fate counter on it. So you can put fate counters on things much cheaper with this guy, and then use Oblivion Stone to blow everything up that doesn't have a fate counter on it. Then we have Orzhov's Signet, just a mana rock there. Puppet Strings, another card to help us untap stuff, mainly our general. Soul Ring, don't need to say what that does. Everybody knows and loves that card. Staff of Domination, mainly there for its 3rd ability to untap target creature, but you can use this multiple times if you can generate lots of mana, because you can untap the staff itself. So that's mainly why I put this in here, but the other abilities of gaining life, tapping creatures, or drawing cards is also really cool as well. It gives you lots of options. Thornbite Staff, whatever creature has this equipped to it has pay 2 and tap it, and it pings a creature or player, and then whenever another creature dies, the creature untaps. So that's very good with our general. If we put it on our general and then start killing things, we can get multiple uses out of our general. 1,000-Year Elixir, just another card to untap creatures, so that's there to speed up our fate counter process on our general, and we can activate abilities of creatures we control as though they had haste, so that's nice. Thran Dynamo, another mana rock, and Umbral Mantle, another card there to allow us to untap our general. Next up, we'll take a look at our enchantments. Debtor's Knell, nice creature recursion enchantment from any graveyard. Puts a creature from any graveyard into play under our control. Dictate of Erebos, Grave Pact with Flash, basically. Field of Souls gets us a 1/1 white flyer whenever a non-token creature we control dies. Grave Pact, kind of like the aforementioned Dictate of Erebos, just without Flash. Mobilization, there to generate tokens for us. Generate some attackers or blockers that have vigilance. And it's very nice to use your commander's third ability, I should say, on creature tokens, because you can generate a whole bunch of tokens, put a fate counter on one of those tokens, and use its third ability to exile that token to essentially just draw 2 cards. So that's pretty nice. Mainly why I put a lot of the token generating things in the deck is to use the commander's third ability on the tokens for card draw, which I felt like was, pretty valuable. Palace Siege is our next card. Basically there for the creature recursion if you choose Khans. I personally will always choose Khans. I will never choose dragons on this card. Phyrexian Altar there for some additional card draw and our upkeep. And Spirit Bonds generates us 1/1 white flyers if we pay 1 white whenever a non-token creature we control enters the battlefield. Then we can pay 2 and sacrifice a spirit to give target non-spirit creature indestructible till end of turn. Next up, our instants of the deck. We run Mortify, Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, and Utter End. They're basically all just there as spot removal cards. Creature or enchantment, exile a creature, exile target non-land permanent. So just more or less spot removal there. And lastly, we will take a look at our creature base. So with the creature base, I went pretty heavy with stuff that has enter the battlefield effects or has the ability to generate us tokens, or creatures with tap abilities so that we can use the cards that we have in the deck that I've shown that will allow us to untap creatures to get multiple uses out of those creatures as well if our commander, isn't at the party at the time. So let's take a look at the creature base. We run a Darkar Valkyrie. Taps to resurrect creatures when they die. Angel of Despair blows up any permanent when it comes in. Ashen Rider exiles any permanent when it comes in or dies. Athreos, God of Passage. If your opponent doesn't pay 3 life, every creature that dies on your side of the board goes back to your hand. Big Game Hunter destroys any creature with power 4 or greater. Blood Gift Demon, basically a Phyrexian Arena on a 5/4 flying dude. Captain of the Watch there to generate us some soldier tokens. Cryptghast there to double our black mana, and the Extort ability is also not bad. Custody Soulbinders will come into play with X counters, +1/+1 counters, where X is the number of creatures we have on the board, and then we can pay 2 and a white to remove a counter from him to get a 1/1 white flying spirit. Deathbringer Liege pumps all of our white guys and black guys +1/+1, and whenever we play a white spell, we can tap a creature. Whenever we play a black spell, we can destroy target creature if it's tapped, so that's pretty cool. Disciple of Bolas, when he enters the battlefield, you sacrifice another dude, and then you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the dude's power that you sacrificed. Erebos, God of the Dead, there to draw us some cards and make it so that our opponents can't gain life, so that's pretty cool. Fleshbag Marauder, everybody sacks a dude when he comes into play. Geist Honored Monk will bring us in 2 1/1 white flyers, and its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures we have on the board. Ghoul Caller Jissa will give us a sack outlet that will generate us X 2/2 black zombies, where X is the sacrifice creature's power, so that's pretty cool. Pretty good token generator. Speaking of token generators, Grave Titan, he's a machine of a 2/2 black zombie token generator. He's just awesome. I love him. Karmic Guide, there for some creature resurrection when it enters the battlefield. Knight Captain of Eos will generate us soldier tokens and give us the ability to pay a white and sacrifice a soldier to Fog. Next we have Luminant Primordial. It'll allow us to exile a creature on each opponent's side of the board, and then they gain life equal to that creature's power, but I'll gladly exile someone's, Elesh Norn to let them gain 4 life or whatever her power is. So, pretty good card if you ask me, plus we can abuse that with our general. Luminous Angel will generate us 1/1 white flyers on our upkeep. Massacre Worm will give all of our opponent's creatures -2/-2 until end of turn, and when any of our opponent's creatures dies, our opponents lose 2 life. Mikaeus the Unhallowed pumps all of our non-human creatures +1/+1 and gives them Undying, and whenever a human deals damage to us, it gets destroyed. Necrotic Sliver, basically a Vindicate on a 2/2 body by paying 3 and sacrificing it. Nirkana Revenant, basically there to double our black mana, but it can also pump +1/+1 by paying a black, so we can potentially make that very big. Phyrexian Plague Lord, basically there for the free sack outlet that can potentially kill off creatures by giving them -1/-1, or we can tap him and sacrifice him himself to give something a -4/-4. Puppeteer Clique, there to resurrect creatures out of our opponent's graveyard and put it into play under our control. And it has Persist, so we essentially get to do it twice. Sheoldred, everybody knows and loves Sheoldred. If you're playing black, you should be playing Sheoldred. She is amazing. Stronghold Assassin, another sack outlet that will allow us to destroy non-black creatures. Teysa Orzhov Scion will generate us 1/1 white flyers whenever another black creature we control dies, and then we can sacrifice 3 white creatures to exile target creature, so that's very nice. Twilight Drover, whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Then we can pay 2 and a white and remove a +1/+1 counter from him to get 2 1/1 white flyers, so he's a pretty good token generator. And lastly, we have Visara the Dreadful, a 5/5 flyer that just taps to destroy any creature on the board, and it can't be regenerated. So, that is more or less the deck, guys, for our Triad of Fates EDH deck tech. Mr. Rancid, I hope you enjoyed this video and that this deck was kind of on the lines of what you were looking for out of this deck. And for everybody else watching, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Just a couple of other things to talk about the deck before I sign off here. The color balance is relatively even. We have a little bit more black than we do white, but it's, just about 50-50. As far as the types of cards, the majority of our cards are artifacts, creatures, and lands. In this case, with a small portion of the deck being compiled of instant sorceries and enchantments. Our mana curve sits highest at 3. So, we kind of spike up towards 3 and then curve downward a little bit towards 4. We have a little bit more 5-cost stuff than 4-cost stuff, and then we curve downward from there. Our average converted mana cost for this deck is 4.16, so not too bad. And according to TCGplayer.com, the price for this deck as it stands right now, if you wanted to purchase it as is $268.40. So, that's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, that's more or less the deck, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, throw it a like and a comment to this video and let me know what you think of it. If there are any cards that you would add in, take out, suggestions on, ways that you would go with a Triad of Fates deck if you were to build one, let us know. We really do like to hear your comments and suggestions and stuff like that. And if you're not already subscribed to Tap and Turn Gaming, please crush that subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. So, this has been Jay with Tap and Turn Gaming. Again, hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and we will catch you later. Thanks a lot for watching.